What is up, guys? We're back with another video, and today we're checking out this motherboard, which is ASRock's Z390 Steel Legend. Of course, ASRock started the Steel Legend series with the B450 Steel Legend on the AMD side, and now they have moved it over to the Intel side, so we have a Z390 board. So let's go ahead and take a look. The Z390 Steel Legend keeps the same color design that we saw on the B450 Steel Legend, so you have that black PCB with the digital winter camo and silver and white heatsinks. Overall, this board looks pretty awesome. Starting with the CPU socket, we have Intel's LGA 1151 socket, and of course, Z390 boards support both 8th generation and 9th generation Intel Core processors. Now, this board features an all-digital power design, which is made up of premium 60 amp chokes and 12K black capacitors. The 8-pin EPS connector is located towards the top left of the board, which makes it very easy to access in most cases. Moving over to the side of the board, we have our 4 DDR4 DIMM slots. These are not metal reinforced, but support DDR4 memory all the way up to 4266 megahertz. In front of the memory slots is your 24-pin ATX power connection and a USB 3.1 Gen 1 header. There's also a 4-pin standard RGB header right above the memory slots. Coming down the board, there are 4 SATA 6GB ports. These ports sort of sit at an indent in the board, and this is going to make connecting your SATA cables much easier, especially if your cable routing holes in your case sit right by the end of the motherboard. The edge design of this motherboard is quite cool as well, so you have the edges sort of being cut off. At the bottom of the board, you'll find the rest of your headers and connections. So from left to right, you have your HD audio header, COM port header, 3-pin addressable RGB header, 4-pin RGB header, a USB 2.0 header, USB 3.1 Gen 1 header, 2 4-pin fan headers, your front panel headers, and then 2 more SATA 6GB ports. The bottom half of the board is characterized by a large heatsink that covers not only the Z390 PCH, but the bottom M.2 slot. Besides this slot, there is a second slot that sits above the top PCI Express slot. This also features an integrated heatsink, and then both of these slots are PCI Express 3.0 X4. When it comes to expansion slots, you have 2 PCI Express 3.0 X16 slots and then 3 X1 slots. The top X16 slot does have ASRock's steel armor on it, and then the bottom slot is only X4 electrical, so you're only going to be doing single graphics card configurations with this board. When it comes to audio, ASRock is using the Realtek ALC 1200 audio codec, and we can see the audio capacitors visible on the board. Right above the top M.2 slot are 2 more 4-pin fan headers, so in total with the CPU fan header you have 5 total headers. There's also a Wi-Fi M.2 slot for an optional Wi-Fi module. ASRock has an interesting design on their I/O cover. It covers some of the rear I/O but sort of cuts short towards the bottom half. When it comes to the rear I/O, from left to right you have a combination PS2 port, 2 USB 3.1 Gen 1 ports, DisplayPort, HDMI, 2 USB 3.1 Gen 2 ports, one is Type A and the other is Type C, Gigabit Ethernet, 2 USB 2.0 ports, and of course your HD audio. As far as lighting on the board goes, you have RGB LEDs on the PCH heatsink as well as along the edge of the board. Overall, the lighting looks quite good, and of course you can easily control it using ASRock's Polychrome Sync software. Alright guys, so when it's all said and done, I think ASRock has a pretty good board here in their Z390 Steel Legend, but just getting right to it, we did find one issue that could affect a lot of people, and that's when it came to overclocking. So we went to overclock our Core i9 9900K on this board. We ran into thermal throttling because of the VRMs. So the cooling that they're using in the VRMs just doesn't cut it when it comes to overclocking an i9 9900K. So that's something you're definitely going to want to consider if you're looking to pick up this board. Now, if you're not doing any overclocking, I think this is a great board. You have everything that you would want in the Z390 package. So you have 2 M.2 slots. They're both PCI Express 3.0 X4. They come with integrated heat sinks. You have USB 3.1 Gen 2. You have great RGB lighting, and this board looks awesome. The digital winter camo that we saw on the B450, Steel Legend is on this as well, and it just looks really, really great. It supports memory over 4000 megahertz by default. I mean, this board is loaded with features, and it's under 150 bucks, so you really can't go wrong. Just if you're doing overclocking, this probably isn't the board for you. Now, we'll have links below to our full review that includes all of our benchmarks and all of that fun stuff, as well as a link where you can go ahead and pick this board up. Now, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. So until next time, catch you guys later.